the Knicks, when you think about it, the teams around them, below them, they're not going to catch the Milwaukee Bucks at number 3. They're I think, probably 5 or 6 games behind them. But, Boston has lost 3 in a row now. Charlotte lost.
And by the way, they lost to Oklahoma City, who was on that 14-game losing streak or whatever
exactly.
it was.
So, the NBA is crazy. And this is why the Knicks need to take care of business. They have 10 games left. Of the 10 games left, 4 are going to be at Madison Square Garden. Tonight against Chicago, and then the last 3 against the Spurs, Hornets, and Celtics. And the Celtics and the Hornets are on back-to-back nights, the 15th and 16th of May. And then, of course, they have that, 6-game West Coast swing. And look at the teams that they're playing. So Houston, obviously, one of the worst teams in the league, the worst team in the West. They have to win that game, and that game comes after this game against Chicago. And I'm not trying to touch the money. I'm not trying to look forward because you got to take care of business tonight.
Sure.
It's 1 possession, 1 quarter, 1 half, 1
all
game.
that stuff, yeah.
Take care of business tonight and go on the road feeling good about yourself and get yourself winning again. And then it comes Houston. You got to beat Houston. Then comes Memphis. Memphis has got a winning record. They're right around the type of team you are. You're in Memphis. I think they're 31-29 right now. So it's a good team, not a great team. You need to win that game. You have to go on a 3-game winning streak now because then comes Murderer's Row of the Western Conference, and that is Denver, Phoenix, the Clippers, and the Lakers. And the Lakers will have LeBron back.
Oh, of course. He'll
So
come back that game.
Right, he'll probably come back that game.
Triple-double.
I'm just just to point out what's going on here, and because the same thing with the Rangers, too. The Knicks were scuffling at the beginning of the season, and they're paying for that scuffling, not really ever separating themselves. Now, because of the way that their schedule looks at the end of the season. I remember looking at both teams' schedules at the end of the season saying, okay, they're going to have tough runs at the end of the year. And you're looking at the Spurs, Hornets, and Celtics. All those teams are right around 500 or better. So this is not going to be an easy get for them. But you know what? They have shown resilience. They've shown that they can play on the road. They've shown that they're tough. They show that they very rarely ever get blown out.
Of course.
That's the thing. I just...
When was the last time you can remember the Knicks are down 25 in a game?
So they need to go out and they need to get going again tonight. Okay,
it's a big one.
And they got to beat Houston, and then somehow if they can win 2 of those games out there, look, I'd love to see them win all the games after Houston. But if they can win 2 of those 5 games between Memphis, Denver, Phoenix, Clipper, and the Lakers, and then sweep the teams that they play at home, I think they'll end up in the number 4 spot. Because then I started looking at everybody else's schedule. They're all kind of playing very difficult schedules. And we just saw last night, Boston losing 3 in a row now and losing to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I'd love the 4th seed for the Knicks. If it ends up being the 5th seed, of course, you're the road team in that 4-5 series. That's okay. I don't want the 6th seed. And I don't think the Bucks are world beaters, but I don't want to be the road team in a 3-6
I want
Bucks
the 4
Knicks.
seed. I want the 4 seed.
I do too.
Because I think the Knicks play really, really well. This group of players, even though they lost the other night to Chris Paul, who went off like a crazy man, even though they lost the other night, I just, for whatever reason, they really are playing well at home. More fans are going to be in the stands.
You want home court advantage.
You want home court advantage. It will start getting like that, and the players will feed off of it, I think. So this is why tonight and the Houston game are really imperative. You got to have both of those games.
I agree.
You just have to have both of those
Nice
games.
little cushion heading into the gauntlet of the schedule. It would be great.
Right. Now, for my New York Rangers, I said at the beginning of the season, because of the truncated season.
Bad start.
I said, you got to get off to a good start. You got to get off to a good start. 1-4-1 in their first 6, 4-7-3 in their first 14, and they've been fighting uphill ever since. Now, a lot of young players.
The Panarin thing screwed you, too.
Yeah, but Panarin, we lost him for 9 games right in the middle of the season, and maybe we win a game or 2 there. But, there's a lot of great things to see against bad teams. When there's a lot of open ice, there's a lot of cross-ice passing, and you could see the skill. It's ridiculous to some of these young players. Lafreniere, since he got moved to the top line, is all of a sudden, wow, you could see the skill is there. So the future is really bright for the team. I don't know about the immediate future because they now have to play the Islanders twice, Washington twice, and Boston twice.
Well, the Islanders, they better wake up here. They're losing 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Slippage.
Right,
got some slippage.
Yeah, but now it's the Islanders' turn to play Buffalo and New Jersey.
Right.
They got Buffalo and New Jersey for 4 games, and then they have Boston for 1 game, and they have the Islanders. The Islanders have the Rangers for 2 games. Hey, the best the Rangers can do is 70 points, meaning that they sweep the next 6 games, which ain't happening.
Yeah, probably
It's just not happening. It's not going to happen because these teams that they're playing now, all of a sudden they play defense. They have top-end goalies and they have top-end lines, even though the Islanders can't seem to score unless they're playing the Rangers.
Yeah.
So the reality is while the Rangers have been lately very good against the Devils, the Sabres, and they split with the Flyers, that's where they've gotten their 7 wins. Hey, it's great. I see improvement. I see young players growing. Shesterkin in the first period last night was unbelievable as the team in front of him was skating in mud. If Filipino could ever hit a net with a puck, he probably should have 20 goals this year on himself. But for some reason, he gets close to the net, can't hit the puck. Can't hit the net. But I would just say with the Islanders have a game in hand, Boston has 2 games in hand, and Pittsburgh has the same amount of games played as the Rangers, 50. The likelihood of the Rangers making it to the playoffs in this pandemic-shortened season, not likely. If it were a normal season where they were playing 82 games and they were playing all the teams that they normally play and it was all spread out, no question in my mind that they are a playoff team. They have been hurt by the way the thing has been set up, but really there's nothing they could do about it except go out and try to win the games against really good teams, all 3 teams ahead of them. So the Knicks have their work cut out for them, and the Rangers certainly have their work cut out for them, and both of those teams can attribute the work that they have cut out for them looking back at the beginning of the season.
And you are going to be just completely overwhelmed with sports on Thursday night as you've got Rangers, Islanders, and the NFL draft, and you've got to do a show that night as well. As we'll be.
Show? I'm doing, what, like 10 minutes?
No, I believe it's at least a half hour.
A half an hour.
I think a half an hour. Me and you were doing a half hour.
Like an instant reaction to the draft?
We have to do that, too. We've got to put up an instant reaction video after the Jets pick, so we're doing that.
So when the Jets pick Zach Wilson, I'm going to pick up my phone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to shoot myself on the phone, and I'm going to say, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
We did it.
Yeah. So the new trend is...
Should I do it naked and in the dark?
Oh, that'd be great, like Evan Roberts did.
That's right, when they got Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what you should do. Yeah, that'd be great. Naked, or at least shirtless.
Right.
In the dark with the TV light blaring on you, and then just going, yes, yes. Well, the new trend around here is people are afraid to ask you to do the task, and they go to me and say, hey, can you do this? And then just tell Boomer to do it too. Oh, okay, sure. Well, why don't you tell Boomer? He's in there in his office listening to country music right now, if you'd like to knock on his door. And you do have his cell phone number, do you not? Or you just want me to be the bearer of bad news?
Why are you sending people into my office? I don't want to see anybody.
Because I don't want to be
just tell people they don't have to come here because of the pandemic. Don't come.
Consigliere
Don't come. Don't come to the office. Pandemic time. Just stay away.
Like, oh yeah. So did you tell Boomer he has to do this? I said, I'm not asking him to do. You ask him to do it. All right, well, what is this here?
First of all, somebody that's asking me to do something shows up one day a week. I mean, I want to give the guy some respect because I know he's got a job to do.
Yeah.
But when he's here, I feel like he doesn't want to be here.
Sure, I get I kind of get that same thing. Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. But yeah, so that's what we are expected.
Did you ever find out when Maggie and Moose are coming back?
No.
What do you mean no?
I have not.
You
found
know
out.
Scuttlebutt. Why can't you figure that out?
I've got no Moose and Maggie Scuttlebutt.
I mean, Craig and Evan have been here since Craig came back.
Sure, that was
it's like they're staring down the pandemic right in the face and going,
yeah,
F off.
Well, that was the same day they wanted us back together as well. We got the green light. It was the same day.
I was here before
November.
y'all.
No, I understand that, but you were allowed to come in at that point.
Why?
We were not, because we weren't allowed in the same studio at that point.
Okay, is that what it was?
Yeah, but Jerry was back before you.
When is Jerry allowed to come back in here?
Soon, when he's he got his second shot
what are we
Friday.
Doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I think he's allowed. I think not this week, but the following Monday. I think he's in.
Are these HR rules? Are they actually printed somewhere?
They're working with the CDC very closely.
You're more in your face with your very white arms today. That's like it's coming across on that monitor. You just, you got the whole what they call that, the farmer's tan situation going on.
I know.
So when you're doing this stuff, it's just these 2 white sticks. It's like PVC.
I'm sorry.
It's like white PVC.
Need to have Jackie, Allie darken him up a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, Allie, can we get some makeup on Boomer's arms, please? We got to tan him up a little bit.
I mean, what's Allie doing? She on Facebook or something? What's going on?
No, she's probably staring at the monitor going, wow, those are white-ass
really
arms.
But
yeah.
this could be the time that she applies Jerry's makeup.
No, she's just sitting out there
already?
going, look at these white arms. So anyway, for anybody that's confused about why Boomer was doing the screw you whole slap of the arm thing, because you kind of glossed over that a little bit and then threw out Anthony DiComo's name. So let me just explain this a little bit. Let me just explain it a little bit. So back, what was it, June of last year?
Yes.
I think right around there.
Whenever.
You had gotten a tip from someone that said that the Mets were scouting Matt Harvey and there was mutual interest, and he said it on the air.
Well, Matt Harvey would do anything to get back into baseball again.
Right.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely. Well, that's where the mutual comes from. But then Anthony DiComo, I believe he's MLB.com. Well, he ended up tweeting out, I have heard there is no truth to the rumor that the Mets and Matt Harvey have mutual interest and could get back together. He tweeted that out at the time. He got a bunch of retweets and likes and everything else.
No, retweets and likes.
He got a bunch of that, a bunch of reaction.
People need to be slapped upside the head is what they need.
So yesterday,
yeah,
Andy Martino,
Ooh.
he said, Omar Minaya just told me that last year the Mets were scouting Matt Harvey because they were interested in bringing him back. So Boomer wanted to make sure that everybody remembered that because he was on it. And
Well, I didn't
told him he
realize
was
all
wrong.
this stuff was going down until yesterday. A nice person on Twitter reached out to me and said, hey, did you see this kind of thing? And I said, hey, well, what do you know? And then I responded back to a few people. You remember when this whole thing got shut down?
Sure, yeah.
Right. And then, of course, Matt Harvey shuts down the Yankees. And now, all of a sudden, the Mets were scouting him.
Yeah,
I know they were.
Yeah, it's sort of incredible, the timing of that whole thing. But yeah, so I could only find the DiComo refuting. I went through a couple other Mets beat writers to try to find out if anybody else had refuted it.
There was all sorts of refutation going on.
Refutation? Is that even a word,
I don't know,
refutation?
but it sounds like one.
Man, the Mets were terrible last night.
I'm happy today because, the Rangers finally took care of business last night, and that's good. They beat all the bad teams. That's fine. But, I'm looking forward to this draft. I really am. It's going to be wild. I think it's going to be wild. But Wild.
People trading all over the place in the first round, quarterbacks, this, that, trading up, trading back.
I think the most fascinating thing is going to be the 49ers, at number 3.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
So reading all the mock drafts and everything, which is fun. I mean, this is what we do. This is why this thing has become so popular. Because we all like to think that we know what each team needs and what's going to, I have piles of paper that tell me everything that every team needs.
Sure.
Who they've added, who they've lost, what they've done with their team in the offseason, what they need in terms of
key additions,
right? Bolster
key
their
losses,
roster and their depth chart,
team needs,
right? And all these kids, it's a great day. It's really getting to the point where it's really exciting. So if the 49ers at number 3 take Mac Jones, 49er fans are going to melt down. So I kind of feel like they're thinking maybe Trey Lance or Justin Fields. But how do I know? They obviously have identified, they said they've looked at all 5 quarterbacks, and maybe they feel like all 5 quarterbacks, depending on which one falls to them, which would either be Mac Jones, Trey Lance, or Justin Fields, would be more than happy to have that as their leader of their team.
Yeah, I mean, some days it feels like it's going to be Mac Jones. Some days it feels like it's going to be Justin Fields. Some days it feels like it's going to be Trey Lance for the 49ers. We will find out. I'm sure we'll find out at some point
What I can't
tomorrow.
wait also is to win the Giants. So the Giants are sandwiched right in between the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll know, right then and there who your picks are. And the problem with the Giants, they only have 6 picks in this draft. The Cowboys and Eagles, I think, have like 10 and 11. So that is a significant disadvantage, and probably one of the reasons why people are thinking that maybe Dave Gettleman would trade out of there. But if Devonta Smith is there at number 11, how do the Giants pass on that kid?
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.